Let's push it on a little bit more. Jeez, it's got some go. God, that acceleration is impressive, I have to say. Hi guys, Alex Peak Performance Reviews. Welcome to another vlog and welcome to another hot hatch video. And today I'm going to be in the new Audi RS. I'll tell you more on the drive. Like I say, 2.5 litre glorious turbocharged engine. Cannot wait to go in. So yeah, let's watch on, see how we get on, and yeah, I'm sure this is going to really excite me. It's going to be good. So yeah, as I said, I'm out in this new Audi RS3, and I have to say I am very excited for it. I haven't driven many RS3 model cars, I'll be honest, but I've driven a lot of the other Audi, Volkswagen Audi group four-wheel drive cars or Quattro cars, and I have to say, in general, the later and newer they've got, the better the driving dynamics have been. However, they still haven't been on par with some of the absolute best two-wheel drive cars. Don't get me wrong, they've been absolutely adequate and still massively capable and very impressive. However, like I say, they've just been a little bit more safer and boring from the two-wheel drives that I'm more akin to and more at home with, I guess. But I'm hearing really, really good things about the dynamics of this car. Now, one of the reasons why that is the case is you can really adjust the front biased and the rear biased as much as you pretty much want. There's two new modes on this, and basically one of them allows it to have a lot of rear wheel drive power. So the weight, so the power is shifted massively to those rear wheels. And yeah, I'm gonna really push it in a moment and have a little look on the different modes. Already, actually, the driver dynamics are really impressive, and they feel really good. Steering a little bit light. I don't know whether it changes much on the different modes, but I will find out for you. But yeah, it's definitely very light. And let's change it into some of the more wild modes. Straight away, it changes. We've put it into RS mode, and it's got this new dynamic visualization on the front cockpit, and it's got like kind of G-force meter, the power and the torque and the revs and the speed all in the center dial. Don't quite like this visualization as much as some of the Audi RS range cars of old. But yeah, we've changed it into, like, say, the RS dynamic mode now, and the steering definitely is still quite light, actually, and it's a shame. Okay, let's push it on a little bit more and see what the dynamics of this car feels like in the RS mode. Something in an automatic car you've always got to remember is the pedal position, especially on these Volkswagen Audi group cars. They've got a huge central brake pedal. It's almost too big, but I suppose it keeps the driver engagement for having the accelerator right by the right foot very close, I guess. I would prefer it a little bit smaller, if I'm honest, but no, not too much of a complaint. Maybe if I lived with it for a little bit longer, I'd probably grow to like that, perhaps. But yeah, we're on Millbrook Proving Ground Test Facility, and we've got a great hill course, which is like it's like a proper little track, very undulating, very lumpy, bumpy, and it will test out this chassis. I mean, this is a hot hatch that should be good in all conditions. So this is kind of the typical kind of roads you'd get in the UK. And brakes are really good. The chassis is absolutely superb. See how it is over this hill? Whoop! Get that light feeling in your head. I'm going to put it into manual mode now. See what it feels like on the tip. Before I push this on a little bit more, let's talk a little bit more about the car. So, headline figures, much like last time, 400 horsepower. And the Newton meters are now actually increased to 500 Newton meters. So 400 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque. Plenty of power and plenty of torque, that's for damn sure. Yeah, but actually just driving it a little bit more so far, it really does feel lovely and soft at low speeds, really capable, but let's push it on a little bit more. Jeez, it's got some go. God, that acceleration is impressive, I have to say. Yeah, how would it be to live with as an everyday driver? I think amazing. It's if you put it in like a comfort mode or the low down default modes, it is very, very nice and sedate and very, very comfortable. Steering's light. I think it does feel like the steering gets a little bit heavier, but very minute if anything. I do wish they would have made it have a more not responsive. It's got a responsive rack, but it's got a really soft rack, which means it's not very heavy. It's very, very soft in its inputs, which around town would be beautiful, but when you're hacking it on track, I think, or really pushing it on the roads, I think it would be a little bit light for my liking. But it handles absolutely superb. The steering input is amazing, so it's soft in its feel, but the input is really, really connected. And now I put it in the manual mode, it does feel, woohoo, this chassis is good. And it sounds amazing. Some of it's orchestrated, but not too much. It is lovely. Oh, I tell you what, this has got a good chassis. This is one of the best all-wheel drive chassis I've felt for a long time, I have to say. And that 2.5 litre soundtrack is absolutely beautiful. Some of it, like I say, is orchestrated, but plenty of it is not. You got a nice little boost gauge on here, just telling you how much boost we get running. Let's drop it down here, tip into this corner. Oh, the grip is amazing. Absolutely superb. The chassis is absolutely on point from front to the rear of this car. No wash away, no understeer of old. Massively connected feel between the front and the rear. Just dampening. The dampening is sublime. A perfect balance of almost track focus and road going capabilities. This car is seriously something. It is good. And on the brakes, nice pedal feel. The brake bite point is quite nice and high. Probably could be minutely high, but it's nice and high, so it's got really nice modulation under the pedal feel. And this front end and rear end is sublime. Braking when you put it on hard is really, really good. I mean, wow, these have got stopping power. These brakes are absolutely superb. Let's do a little accelerative pull. Oh yes, great little car. What a car. Both in accelerative performance and chassis, this is sublime. And yeah, it probably doesn't still feel quite as dynamic and as leery as some of the two-wheel drive cars, but it's up there with the best, I'm telling you. And its overall performance, especially for while staying comfortable, is actually probably on another level, I have to say. The infotainment system's really, really nice, works really well. The dials and all the displays are crisp, functional, straight to the point, and wonderful in their workings. The interior is absolutely stunning as well. I think I saw a Joe Achilles video, and he did say that yeah, there's not much to tell you that it's a RS car. I think he's kind of right, but it does look it looks kind of more high-end executive rather than necessarily an RS car. But you can tell just with the seats, and then I think when you drop it down and you start driving the thing, you know it's an RS range car. I mean, this car is. And actually, when you do push it, it becomes a little bit playful as well. Oh wow, it has got a sublime chassis, this. Let's push it on a little bit more. Wow, it's not often you'll see me getting stump and not saying a lot and just being quiet. But this, you can feel at one with this car very quick in that kind of relationship period where you just get in it for the first time. And I can only imagine this will feel even better the more you learn and feel how this car is. But I have to say, it is more connected than most, or near enough any all-wheel drive car I've been in. It kind of doesn't, it almost doesn't feel all-wheel drive. It's just fun, I guess, is the word. It's just really, really fun, but yet somehow it stays safe enough. And that soundtrack, I'm smiling, guys. This is good. It is really good. In fact, it's pretty damn special. Jeez. Oh, yes. If you want to, it will have a little hop and a skip and a little sideways dance, but it hangs on for absolute dear life. What a car, what a machine. I love it. I love it. As all-wheel drive cars go, they can be diluted, a little bit boring, a little bit safe. But the RS3 is a surefire winner for me. Massive, massive thumbs up from me. Such a complete, incredible, amazing hot hatch, premium hot hatch, whatever you want to call it, hyper hatch now. What a machine, what a phenomenal car. Okay, so we've talked about the handling, we've talked about steering, we've talked about the brakes. Let's talk about things like the refinement, how this car is to live with day by day. Now, it's obviously not going to return incredible miles per gallon, because I think most of the time you're going to be driving it at 9/10, I reckon. Not quite 10/10, but 9/10. And it will be, the figures for miles per gallon will be in the mid-20s, maybe even low 20s, as I've kind of seen while I've been going around here. But if you drive really careful, you can get it in and around the 30s and even over. It's very, very clever, I have to say. It's great tech in this, and it has a great engine. And yeah, talking more on that, what is the engine like? Now, again, I have heard a few people putting into manual, so you'll hear it kind of screaming a little bit. A few people complaining about the throttle response and the throttle modulation. Yeah, it probably is a little bit delayed, and I don't know what that is. It has been like that in a lot of kind of Volkswagen Audi Group RS cars in totality, actually, in their whole lifetime. It's not like crisp like some of the amazing Porsche cars out there, or some of the mad M cars. However, you I think quite quickly learn to live with it, and you just find yourself adjusting your throttle a little bit earlier, and it doesn't, I don't think it matters too much. I think because of how much power and grip there is, I think the car helps you out there and helps that throttle issue there, and everything else just makes up for it. Balance, chassis control, handling, outright sheer performance, braking, it is the whole package. Oh, it kind of hangs on, and it sounds good as well. Yeah, I've probably missed things on this, but for me, the key fundamentals of a car are the things that I've mentioned. And as hot hatches go, yes, you want to know how you can live with this, and yeah, you absolutely rest assured can live with this, because it's so comfortable, maybe more so than anything hot that's as capable as this. this would be capable on all UK roads and probably more capable on most UK roads than anything that's out there. But on track, this will be as capable as the absolute best, I would have thought, probably from the outright sheer performance of the motor. But that being said, not just from that, of the old RS range, it used to just be that. It used to be the fact that they were so much more powerful and so much quicker. There'd be 400 horsepower and they'd actually dyno 430 or 450 horsepower, I'm told. But the chassis always was very good, absolutely adequate, but not up there with the absolute best. And I think this has absolutely bridged that gap between those cars now. Yes, obviously the elephant in the room is the price of this car. It kind of starts at around £60,000, and once you go up to kind of the Vorsprung edition, you are looking at a much more pricier car, up near around the 70,000s. And when you spec them up, they can be up near £80,000, easy enough. That being said, most of the cars do have good base features, and I wouldn't worry too much about that. Just try and see what deals you can get, and yeah, probably get the best one you can for the value of what you want to spend on a car. But don't worry too much, because the core fundamentals of this car is the motor and what you get within the car. And for me, it just ticks all those boxes so well, and it's just an all-round amazing package. Yes, it's expensive in conventional terms against a hot hatch, a typical hot hatch, but is it expensive in terms of its performance versus, you know, where it's at in terms of a hot hatch? No, it actually probably isn't, because obviously the hyper hatches and the other hatches that are that kind of price and that kind of have this kind of interior and livability, they are going to be more nearer to those kind of, you know, £60,000 mark ranges. Also, you probably can take it away from the hot hatch segment and kind of go, well, what's kind of its rival? And you would say that something like the new M2 is going to be its rival. It's not out yet, but it's definitely going to start life at around £60,000. So you have an all-wheel drive, more livable version of the M2, which is rear-wheel drive. I believe they may be doing an X-Drive version, but that probably will end up life starting at around 70. So is this good value? I think for what you get, you know, you've got a kind of real motorsport-based car that has some really clever bits of trick tech in it.